Hey, what's up, grade 11s? This is Mr. Martins coming at you in week 2 of COVID isolation. Hope you guys are doing okay. I hope you had a happy Easter. But most importantly, I hope you guys are watching these videos and following along and doing the assignments. I still have a number of people that haven't uploaded to the Dropbox from last week, so I'm hoping that you will get caught up on all of this because it looks like we might be out for a while still, and this working from home is going to start counting for marks. So hopefully you can keep up with me. And as always, you can get a hold of me during our weekly chats for 2 hours or anytime using the email system. Alright, so this introductory video is just to show you quickly how to get PApplets working in BlueJ. Alright, so I'm in my Windows emulator here, so I can show you how it's done on a Windows machine, because for most of you I think that's the way you're running this. Alright, so I've got D2L open because I'm going to need to get some things from here. Why don't I start by just launching BlueJ, which actually I've done that already. Let me just make this full window and so that you can see just my Windows window. Alright, so I have BlueJ launched right here, ready to go. Alright, now just like last week, we're going to need to put the jar files for PApplets into the BlueJ file system. Alright, so if you watched last week's video, then you've already downloaded the templates from D2L. Alright, so I've already done that. I'm not going to do this again, but this would be something you have to download. Excuse me. You have to double click it and open up the two folders, and they will end up on your desktop, or at least mine did anyway. So mine are here, the console files, PApplet files. Last week in the console files, we took this HSA jar and we put it into BlueJ. So now we're going to do the same thing with the PApplet files. So if you open up the PApplet files, there's the G for P and the core like we use at school. Now this PApplet template is not going to work in BlueJ. I struggled with it and I just couldn't get it working the way I wanted to. So I've got a new template that we're going to use while we're using BlueJ with PApplets at home. But I'll get to that in the first real lesson of today. But what you do need to do is take these two files and put them into BlueJ. So I'm just going to copy them. And last week I showed you how to do this with the console, and it's pretty much the same thing. Okay, so if you go to your C drive and you go to Program Files, this is where BlueJ is installed, right? So if you open up BlueJ, and then you're going to go to this lib folder here, right? And then it's got all these different languages, but then there's this user lib folder, okay? And this is where I went last week as well. Open that up, and then that's where you're going to paste core and G for P, okay? And then that's it. From now on, BlueJ is ready to do PApplets, all right, with the modified template. All right, so let's just launch our new project and use the modified template really quick just to show you how to get started. And then in my next video, I'll focus on the assignments for this week. All right, so by the time you watch this, week 2 at home will be available to you guys. And the very first thing is this new PApplet template. All right, so we're going to come back to this, but I'm going to literally have you copy and paste the starting code into a new Java file with a new project. All right, so let's do the project part of it first. So here I am in BlueJ. I'm going to start a new project. And just like, again, in NetBeans, it's going to create a folder for us. And hopefully you have a folder somewhere that you know how to get to that is keeping track of all of your Java work at home. So I've just got mine on the desktop. So starting this week, guys, I'm going to have a pattern for you guys to name your projects, just to make it easier for me to mark them on my end. So what I want you to do to name your projects is to give me your user ID. So I'm just going to make one up, John1234. And then I just want you to put the week number that we're on, so week 2, which should be this week. All right, so every week it'll be your user ID plus the week number, and that'll be the name of just your project. All right, so I'm just going to say OK, and that will start a new project. Now, along the way, we're going to be using images. All right, so let me show you where those are as well, because one of the programs we're writing this week is a game of rock, paper, scissors. So going back to D2L here just for a second, under week 2, you're going to see these rock, paper, scissors images. Okay, so it's going to come down as a zip file, all right? And then for most of you, I'm assuming it lands in your downloads. So let me just go to my downloads for a second, because I've already downloaded this ahead of time. So there's my rock, paper, scissors images zip file. If I open that up, I'm going to get a series of 6 images, 2 for each of my weapons, rock, paper, scissors. All right, and I'm just going to highlight these, and I'm just going to go right click and copy. And where these go is into your BlueJ project folder. Okay, so it's pretty simple. Once they're there, you can use them to make P images and use them in your PApplet programs. All right, so here's on my desktop, Java Work at Home. Right, I just made a new project called Week 2 with a username. Okay, and then just in here is where I'm going to paste those images. All right, so that's where they go, and then you can use them in all of your projects, or in this case, in our one project, our rock, paper, scissors game. All right, so let's just do a really quick test here showing you how to use the new template. So if I go back to BlueJ, I'm just going to create a new class, okay, and I will call it Math Tutor, since that is one of the 2 assignments for this week. And I'll just say OK, and it's going to come up with all kinds of code that we don't need. Okay, it gives you some starting template code. I mean, we're going to start with some template code, but we're going to start with the one that I'm giving you from D2L. All right, so when I open this up, the first thing I'm going to do is just erase all the code that's in here. It's kind of slow on my machine because I am running this on my Mac as a Windows emulator, so it takes a little longer. Okay, but so there's all the code, and I'm just going to cut it. Okay, so now I've got just an empty file. All right. Meanwhile, back in D2L, so I'm just going to go back to D2L here for a second. And in our week 2, you will see the PApplet template. All right, and I think I referred to this earlier in the video as well. All right, so I'm just going to highlight all of this code here, and then I'm just going to right click and copy it, and I'm going to put it back into that new file of mine called Math Tutor. Just hit paste, and there it is. Well, there it will be once my computer catches up. All right, so I've left the name of the class empty, and you can see it's highlighted in green here because we have to give it a class name. So here's where you're going to put, again, the name of your class, which is Math Tutor. Spell it exactly the same way that you spelt it when you created this file. Okay, now the other place that you've got to do this is down here at the bottom in the main method. Okay, so right here it's also looking for the name of the class to be Math Tutor. And there's 3 question marks, so you're just going to backspace those out, and you're going to put Math Tutor. Again, spelling it exactly the same way. Okay, and I think I went a little too fast there. I got rid of a curly brace, I think, which I can no longer get back, so I'm going to have to like copy and paste it. So just give me 1 second here. Edit, copy, edit, paste. This is taking a lot longer than it should. There we go. All right, so just put the name of the class down there, and then you can just try it. Like before we do anything else, just compile it, make sure that this thing works the way I'm telling you it should work. So it does say down here at the bottom, class compiled. So if I just close this off, and I go back to my BlueJ main screen, which is here, and right click, remember this from last week, we just run it the same way. So right click and then click on the main method and OK, and then you should see an empty PApplet template appear before you or behind you, someplace. All right, so I think I'll finish off this tutorial just quickly showing you about the images, right? So I think this is it down here. Yeah, so it's down here. Looks a little funny, I'm not sure why. Let me just run that one more time. Pretty sure it's just sometimes it's kind of glitchy when I'm running it on my Windows machine. So it's very slow. It's got to be patient. But while I'm waiting for that, I'm going to go back in and just show you very quickly, just to preview that the images work because of where we put them. All right, so if I just come back in here, and I know it's been a while since we worked with PApplets, but if you remember, one of the things that we worked with was a P image, right? So, and I'm going to go into this in a lot more detail in my other 2 videos for this week. So I'm going to create a P image called rock. Okay, so I declare it there. In setup, I load the image that I want to see. Okay, so I just go rock equals load image, and the name of the image I'm going to load is rock1.png. So all 3 of them are like rock1, rock2, papers 1, paper 2. And I just realized that in Windows I have to hit a different key to get my quotes. The rest of my instructions, guys, are going to be on my Mac because it'll go a lot smoother for me. All right, so there's the image, and then ignore this other stuff for now. I'll get into it in the next tutorial. But in Draw, if we want to see that image, then we have to do the image command. Right, so I'm just going to go image, and I'm going to draw the rock. I'm just waiting for the keyboard to get caught up to me, and I'll just draw it at location 100 over and 50 down. Okay, and that's it. So just like last week, first thing you got to do is you got to compile before you can run it. So you got to hit compile first, and then hopefully no errors. It comes up at the bottom, no syntax errors. All right, so if I close that off and I right-click and I run this, okay, then I should see my PApplet pop up with the rock image. I'm just going to minimize this so we can see it. Okay, what happened there? There we go. All right, so there's my rock image. So that's working just fine. All right, so this introductory video was just to get you guys up and running with PApplets again. I'm going to stop this video here, and we're going to do a video, one each, for the 2 assignments that we're going to cover this week. And I'm going to code along with you most of the way so that you can get most of it done. All right, so stay tuned for video number 2.